In 2012, the Institute for Effective Education at York University ran a study using grammar question sets. The results are consistent with what we've learned in other research studies, which is that our solutions enable learners to make between 3 to 4 months of additional progress in a school year. We decided to talk to some of the teachers who took part in the study.
I think initially it's a little bit scary. I know I took on a class that were already involved in the trial and I hadn't had any of the training, so initially for me it was like, oh my word, software, handsets, what am I doing? But children were so enthusiastic about it. Actually, that I fed off on that. I wanted to know what was going on, and it took so quick to set up and to get into it, and all the software was there, really easily accessible.
I was the doubting Thomas in the group, I'm sure I was, because my fear was that what was my point in the room? If the children had these devices and they were working off the internet and they were doing the self-paced learning, well, what's my position in the classroom? But I was pleased by the amount of interaction I could get from it. I've totally come round in opinion.
After a few weeks, it was so smooth. I'd know every time I get the mini laptops out, there's always a problem, but they were really smooth. Got on with it. Children know what they're doing. That's brilliant.
The exciting thing was that it wasn't boring. If you got the old textbooks out and they had to write out these sentences and add an extra adjective, that straight away just turned the children off. It turned us off when we were at school, didn't it? And it's been going on for years and years and years, and it's like, let's get away from that and let's bring it into a modern age.
It's really good that you could just target in small groups of children as well. Obviously, from when you've got, you know, if there's certain ones still struggling on speech marks or something, you could use it as a real tool just to take that group.
I frequently did that as my teaching assistant. Certain group of children who I'd identified as red, I would say, can you go and take them and do that with them, and then I could focus on my areas.
And you can always stop, can't you, and pull the screen down and say, look, you're not understanding this, and you could explain it, and then they could move on. And I think now, we were just talking about the way they're expected to learn now, there's such a focus on the spelling and the punctuation and the grammar. For year 6 now, the handsets just fit in for all that basic work that you need to do.
There's this constant pressure that we have to know the individual children. We really have to get to know the children. We need to know where they're at and where they're going to. And this enables you to do that. You can really see where the strengths are and where the weaknesses are. I think that, to me, was the thing where I was talking to the other staff to say, look, this will help that. You got that information immediately to your hand. You know, if anybody comes in and asks you about a child, it's there. And I think that was, oh, let's have a look there and let's see if that helped me out. There's nobody around looking and saying, oh, laughing at them, saying, you've got this wrong, you've got it wrong again, you've got it wrong again, because it's so personal to them. So they've got the reassurance that nobody is really watching, although we can see, but none of their peers are giving them that pressure. So I think there's a reassurance there for them to keep trying and to have another go.
There was a lot of examples as well.
And some of the questions are really simple. So, you know, they're going through, oh, I get that. So again, you know they're simple, but they don't know that, you know, and
they're getting through a version of that, repeating questions or doing it, you know, similar style, they would get bored in an instant, wouldn't they? Whereas having it on that handset with that time and the competition element that's in there,
and that immediate feedback, well done, next, well done, next.
And I was absolutely astounded at the speed that some children could read a question and then respond with the correct answer.
And
people who couldn't write.
Oh, everyone's got that right. Look, everyone's got that right. Aren't we really good? And it gets them sort of hyped up.
Mine very much responded to the bar across the top. And they'd be pleased as a class.
Oh, someone's got that wrong.
If it was green, and they'd be like waiting. I mean, oh, look at that, we've done that really well today. And there was like a group feeling of well-being and let's all do that together. I particularly noticed a group of boys who, do you know what I mean, the typical, or getting boys to write, but they were the ones who could be accurate and quick at answering the questions. And it helped me with my assessment of their levels, because as they, in class, what they were producing in their books was way below what some of the other children, but what they were capable of. And I saw those capabilities, and it meant that when they were doing their work in the books, I could say, come on, I know you can do that.
By the back door, it allowed them to be enthusiastic about free writing, because essentially that's what it was. And you had children who wouldn't write you a sentence if you asked them to write down, writing free writing and coming up with whatever they could, you know. As soon as they put things to paper, it would take them half an hour to do one sentence, where they did it in 20 seconds. You give them that device. And then you're looking at what the objective of the task is. Is it to write, or is it to get the content? And it was the content. I even had one year 5 child write level 6 work. But then when they started marking, actually was talking in specifics in complex sentence. I use a complex sentence here that had a connective and an adjective and adverb there, and here's my example to it. I'm like, oh, do you want to mark the rest of my work? It actually happened. I took it to my head at the time, so that's what this is doing.
I thought it was nice as well for your sort of middle attaining pupils. You know, you've got your higher ones that you're always pushing and they're always in there. They're astounding you all the time, aren't they? And then you're nurturing your lower ability and stuff. And those middle sort of children, you know, the enthusiasm and excitement that they had for it was really nice to watch.
One girl sticks in my mind. It wasn't the most able child, writing-wise, that came out like on the top all the time, and it boosted her confidence no end.
And then they'd actually talk to the partner sometimes, wouldn't they? Say, "Oh, I've got that one right. Have you done that one?" Yeah, that sort of, and the interaction was nice.
I think it empowers the children. So I think when they do sit down, and do you know what I mean, our children do have to take those SATs tests, that they sit down and they're knowledgeable, and they, if they're asked to change the pronouns in a sentence or add extra adjectives, they'll know what that means and they'll be able to do it. So I think in a summative sense it will improve results, but also just for our day-to-day assessment, like when you're doing your APP or whatever other assessments you do in school, you notice these things and you think, oh yeah, that's on that APP grid, I'll just highlight that one and tick it off.
I was saying to staff that pop time, I go, come here, have a look at this, and they'd be like, look at that. Is that really doing that? And I go, look at that person there. Look at that individual. And they're like, what are they doing? I'm like, yeah, come look at this on the screen. And they get sucked into it. And they're getting very much a positive reinforcement from it. That class that had it last year is now in your head. They're asking me when they're going to get it back again.
Yeah, that's our year sixes are the same.
They have that connection with them.
They do. Mine have only started to use it. Oh, we're getting handsets in, we're getting handsets. Well, it depends how well. If we have a good lesson, we might get them at the end. Oh, you know, and it's really great.
But we have to make every penny count. We have to think very hard about what we're doing, but this one has been a bit of a no-brainer, to be honest.
I also presented it to governors as well, and my reason for doing it was that, look, I'm asking you for money. I want more money to invest in this in school. I want another set of devices so that each Key Stage 2 class has got a set and we can just use them when we want them. And it was very powerful.
This has worked, and in the process has taken us somewhere we never thought we'd go.